What's up, and welcome to episode of Goodness of Tech. Today we're talking about 5 new laptops for 2025 for the Acer Nitro series. We've got 4 AMD laptops and 1 Intel laptop. This might be a new trend for new laptop manufacturers, new laptop lineups for 2025, just because Intel is kind of lagging behind Ryzen, like AMD right now, in terms of CPU performance and kind of CPU efficiency, at least in some ways, especially when under heavy workloads, especially when it comes to integrated graphics in particular, is a big advantage right now for the Radeon 890, 790M compared to the Intel Arc lineup. So we've got 5 laptops. Let's go over them briefly. So here we go. First laptop is the Acer Nitro V14AI. This is a white one. Look at this. It looks awesome. This has really, really cool design motifs, and like it reminds me of the Zephyrus G14 a lot, but with an icy blue after image or after lights on it. I'm guessing this is a single zone RGB keyboard. It might be. It might be multicolor. It might not be. I don't know. I'll need more information on it. Maybe it says in the specs here. We're going to go over all the detailed specs on these 5 laptops that are coming out. So next up, we have the Acer Nitro V15AI, another Ryzen laptop. Then the V16AI, another Ryzen laptop. V17AI, so 17-inch chassis of the Nitro series. And then we have the 15-inch Acer Nitro V15, which features an Intel CPU. So let's start with the smallest and get bigger. So the Acer Nitro V14, I guess we can go over the pricing on all of them first. So we don't have American pricing yet, and these will be released in April 2025 for this one and this one in January for the V15AI. So $849. It's already coming out in North America in February as well. So very, very soon for one of these, the V15AI. The other one's going to take a while. All right. So the V14, 1099 euro, so maybe about 1,000 US. We're looking at July for North America. So quite a wait for people who are in America. Pricing will be announced for North America at availability, but just know that I'd say $100 to $200 less than the euro pricing, I think. At least that's what they did with their other pricing from Acer. We'll see. No guarantees. I don't have anything official on any of that. So the Nitro V15, available in April for 2,000 Australian dollars. I believe that's what AUD is. North America availability and pricing will be announced later on. So don't know when that's going to come out. The Nitro V15 is going to be $849, so maybe $750. We're looking at RTX 4050s in this, I believe. We'll go over all the specs here in a moment. I'm not going to say anything yet about the specs. V16 for $1299, North America in July, but starting in July as well. So June for the V17AI is also going to be June, and $1299 is the starting price. So looking at the specs now, for the Nitro V14, that beautiful white chassis, we're looking at a Ryzen AI 7 350 processor, 8-core 16-thread, AI 5 340 processor, 6 cores 12-thread. Both very capable processors for gaming and general capability, I'm sure. RTX 4050 GPU. Okay, so very, very high performance for a budget entry level. Now, we're going to obviously get the new 5000 series, but these are 2025 chassis that are designed to be more budget friendly. So they're featuring previous gen GPUs paired with new gen CPUs, which is an interesting take. I think we'll see that happen more than once, especially in the budget camera, in the budget laptop segment. Full HD IR camera. So you have Windows Hello on this probably. Up to 32 gigs DDR5 and Wi-Fi 6E, Bluetooth 5.3, and it weighs 1.6 kilograms, extremely lightweight. Should be a very promising laptop, I would think. Okay. Next up, we have the Acer Nitro V15. This is the Intel Core 5 and Core 7, 210H and 240H processors, respectively. RTX 4050, and it's a 165 hertz 1080p panel, 45% NTSC, so really low color gamut display, kind of crappy display, basically. I can already tell you that. Hopefully, it's a really high response rate at the very least with no ghosting. That would be the goal. Thunderbolt 4 on here, that's really nice. 57 watt-hour battery. Again, pretty lightweight at 2.1 kilograms. And the V15, looking at a very reasonable price point, $849 for the starting price. We'll have to see what it actually comes down to on sales. All right. Nitro V15 AI, so this is going to be a Ryzen processor. Ryzen 7 8845HS or the Ryzen 5 8645HS. You know, those are going to be two very respectable processors. Again, not the latest gen, though. So that's like previous gen and previous gen, kind of put together for a nice budget appeal. This 1080p 180 hertz display panel looks more promising at 100% sRGB than this 45% NTSC, which is only going to be like 69% sRGB. So this panel is probably not so good. This panel, probably very good for the money. Again, a Windows Hello IR camera on here. That's nice. V16 AI. AI 7350 and AI 5340, 6 and 8 core processors respectively in this 16-inch chassis. You can step up to a QHD panel with 180 hertz refresh rate, 100% sRGB, and 400 nits, or a 1200p panel with 180 hertz, 100% sRGB. It's interesting that 180 seems to be the new target for a lot of these more budget-oriented laptops. Pretty cool. Again, an IR camera. A USB 4 Type-C, that's nice. 2 USB 3.2 Gen 2s. I'm not sure if these are A's or C's or what these are. We'll go over that in a moment. 2.43 kilograms. So getting a bit heavier there with the 16-inch chassis. The Nitro V17, so the biggest one in the batch here. The new Ryzen AI 7 350 processor, 8-core 16-thread. Ryzen AI 5 340 processor, 6-core 12-thread. So, and again, we're looking at an RTX 4050. Now, I would be shocked if there wasn't maybe other variants of these laptops that come out with the new 5000 series GPUs. But this is all the information that we get right now, pre RTX 5000 series launch, which happens later today. Like tonight, NVIDIA in about 5 hours is going to be releasing all the information about the new RTX 5000 series GPUs. At least that's the plan, I think. Maybe I'm not even supposed to say that much, but I'm pretty sure people are knowing that there's this big press release that's coming from NVIDIA tonight. So, and that's the obvious thing they're going to talk about the most. Now, I would be shocked if they did not add RTX 5000 series GPUs, you know, the 5060 or 5070, probably up to those ones in these units. 5050 maybe, RTX 5050. I'm assuming there's going to be a 5050. I don't know all the laptop NVIDIA GPUs that are going to come out and what their specs are going to be and how good they're going to be yet. But anyway, let's just talk about the design of these laptops next. All right, so let's take a look at the design of the Acer Nitro V14 AI. We've got this nice white exterior chassis, probably a lot of plastic on here. For ports, we have 2 USB-As, an HDMI 2.1, and then a USB-C, I think a USB-C 4. So as long as you're using a dock, like a big dock or something, the ports might work. You got the power adapter and the micro SD card slot here as well. And notice there's only one fan exhaust. One fan exhaust means we're probably looking at probably sub 60 watt total GPU power to the RTX 4050, but maybe it can be more. It's hard to predict exactly how much wattage they're going to put in here, but it's probably not going to be a super high-end, high-performance gaming laptop. That said, the keyboard looks cool, the design looks sick, and some people are just going to buy this because of the sick design, and I can get it, especially if it's on budget and it has a sick design and it can actually just play the games you want. Then this makes it so much better option than trying to buy like an ROG Ally or something if it's just a couple $100 more and you get a full PC experience. Yeah, I could see the draw of this, but it needs to be competitive versus the Zephyrus G14. And that's, you know, the G14, you get an older version of the G14, you're probably looking at more powerful and probably similar pricing if you get something that's on sale with the G14. So I would say I can cautiously maybe recommend this one just from a design perspective. We'll have to see the actual performance, and I'm going to try to get hands-on with all of these laptops here at CES coming up. So this is the Nitro V15. So this is the Core Ultra 7 and Core Ultra 5 laptop. We've got a full-size number pad on here in this 15-inch chassis. I'm not sure it's a full-size, but we've got at least a number pad, okay? The number pad does exist on this laptop, which is nice considering it is a 15-inch chassis. The bezels don't look too big either. It doesn't look small particularly either. Touchpad looks pretty large. I don't love the arrow keys placement here, the just up-down arrows. I wish these were big fat arrows. I think the 14 may have the same issue. No, the 14 has full-size arrow keys, so Yeah, so the V15 has two USB A's, I think a Thunderbolt 4, HDMI 2.1, Ethernet power adapter port, and then on the right, another USB A and a headset port. So we're looking at three USB A's, one USB C that's a Thunderbolt 4, and HDMI, and an Ethernet. Pretty okay ports. Slightly, I wish there was one more USB C on this side or something. But overall, the ports aren't terrible on the V15. Okay, so now we're going to go to the next one, the Acer Nitro V. We're getting through all the V15 pictures. So still V15, still V15, still V15, and still V15, and still V15. There's a lot of Acer Nitro V15 pictures. Okay, here's the Acer Nitro V16 AI. Okay, so we're looking at look at the keyboard here. We got something that's more like a plasticky mesh style keyboard. With these, it's going to be more of a softer rubber feel to the keyboard on this one, and it looks like this chassis is very reminiscent of the previous Nitro series that we've seen. So hopefully it's good enough build quality for the money. The bezel does look pretty strong, screen to bezel ratio. We got two USB A's on the right side. On the left side, we have another USB A, and looks like, I don't know what that port is, but it doesn't look like a USB C. We'll see here as we go through these and get more ports. Get the full ports. Oh, there's ports on the back too. So it looks like there's a power adapter port, HDMI on the back, and maybe a USB C there. Yeah, so USB C on the back. As well as I think on the left. So two USB Cs, three USB As, HDMI 2.1, and an Ethernet port and maybe that's just a micro SD card slot. So one USB C, three USB As, a headset port, and an Ethernet port. Pretty decent ports. Kind of wish there was one more USB C on here. Other than that, the ports are pretty dang good. So next up, we have the Acer Nitro V17 AI. This is the 17-inch chassis, so you want a big screen on a budget. This is going to be one of your top budget picks probably for 2025, at least potentially. All right, so again, looking at the more mesh soft touch keyboard, which some people are going to like, some people are going to hate. Nicer, looks like, pretty decent layout. We got the full-size arrow keys and the Nitro button for pulling up the Nitro Sense. WASD appear to have a little bit more accentuated lighting, as well as the arrow keys and the Nitro key. On the right side, looks like we have two USB A's. Looks like the similar ports to the Nitro V16 AI, with the USB-C, HDMI, and power adapter on the rear of the laptop. And overall, I mean, this thing looks pretty promising as well, as long as the performance is there. All right, that's probably the biggest thing for me on the performance, because if you end up going with these kinds of laptops, you really gotta, like, when you get bigger, you really want to make sure that they're dual fan and that you're getting the full potential boost from Turbo Boost, and the CPU and the GPU can really hit closer to peak performance levels compared to the 14-inch with a single fan, and they're going super budget. Like, this is more of a mid-tier laptop, at least in terms of pricing, but we're only getting an RTX 4050 so far, at least in this chassis. I'll bet we'll have other GPU options later on. So port selection, like I said, two USB A's, a micro SD, Kensington lock, Ethernet port facing down. That's not great. I wish that was facing up. And headset port as well. On the back, USB-C with USB 4, HDMI 2.1, and our power adapter in port. So decent ports, but I wish there was one more USB-C. So overall, that's the new Acer Nitro V 14, 15, 16, and 17, and the Nitro V15 with the Core Ultra 5 or 7. And like I said, I'm thinking there'll be more options in the future here. I mean, the Nitro lineup is becoming almost Acer's whole lineup. You also have the Acer Predator Helios lineup coming soon as well. I can't talk about those until later on tonight, but I won't be able to film that because I'll be flying out to CES tonight. I'll probably make some videos about that later this week. So yeah, when I go to CES here, I'm gonna try to get hands-on and get all nitty-gritty with all these laptops as much as I can. Obviously, I'm not gonna be able to test most of these laptops. It's gonna be stuck on a demo screen, but at least I can get hands-on, get some close-up video, and test out the keyboard, the mouse, look at these displays that are in the laptops, and get some footage of the displays, which that does make a big difference. And then basically test the build quality is the main thing I'm also gonna be doing maybe a flex test and a keyboard test. And then, from there, I'm going to be able to get the laptops probably starting in March for some of them. And then May, June, July, I'll be getting the rest of them and doing tons of tests on a bunch of these laptops this year. So I'm really looking forward to it. Be sure to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on upcoming content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Brandon out. Huzzah.